All right, let's kick this off. These are the Blazar Mantis 1.33 anamorphics. Very excited for these lenses. So here are my initial shots. We're shooting on the Sony FX6 camera, and really there was really no thought into any of these shots. I really just wanted to see the image quality, the overall sharpness, the overall character of the lenses. And man, they did not disappoint. I was just drooling this entire time. It was incredibly hot. We're in Miami, and it was definitely, above 90, 95 maybe degrees, and it was very humid. Mosquitoes were eating me alive. Check out this little rack focus here. I thought it was really good, and yes, obviously there's lens breathing there, but I mean, I don't know that I'm going to be moving it too much, but again, this is my initial dive into anamorphic. So another rack focus here from the background to this tree here. And I just love what it does to the background. It kind of sort of compresses it in a way. It sort of squeezes it that in a way that only an anamorphic lens can do. This is probably my favorite shot of this sequence. I think, I don't know, it's just something about it, all the activity going on back there, and sort of how the lens is kind of really compressing and squeezing the image back there while maintaining a good sort of normal shot in the middle there. It just looks so nice. And what else can I say about this? It's just, when I hear people talk about the character of the lens and all that stuff, initially I kind of was trying to look for that, and then I finally started understanding what they were talking about. Sort of how each lens sort of compresses the image, and what it does to the bokeh back there, and sort of how all that sort of plays out. Again, there was no thought into any of these. I just really wanted to see the overall image of these lenses, and yeah, I did play with them in post. I did do some coloring and whatnot, just sort of playing with it, see what we can pull out of it. And yeah, I mean, I think these came out so nice. I mean, heck, you could do a whole sequence, like a whole Netflix documentary sequence right now with these right here. Yeah, so these lenses fit a really nice market, right? For those people that, I guess, they want to maintain, people like me that want to continue to shoot with the Sony FX line of cameras and their full frame 16:9 aspect ratio sensors. This, full frame 133 anamorphic lens really gives you the character that you're looking for from the 2x anamorphic lenses. It just brings it over to a 133 format, which is lovely for shooters like myself that just love our Sony FX line of cameras. This is a very, very bright little dollhouse, miniature house for the kids. The sun was hitting it really, really hard. Here's sort of a rare shot of myself in the actual sequence. This is just these lenses are just doing something very unique to the image, something that I just can't get from your traditional digital type of extraordinarily sharp lenses that I usually work with. And I will admit, it was really hard to sort of, not hard, I guess I would say tricky, to maintain focus, just because I've gotten so used to the autofocus of the Sony cameras. But we made it work, I think. On these shots here, you see a little bit of camera movement, and it's interesting. I'm not very particularly fond of shaky handheld shots when it comes to anamorphic. I like them when they're nice and subtle and slick, and sort of let the audience kind of absorb what's happening in the moment, So I don't know, that's sort of how I feel. But subtle camera movements like this, I don't mind, I guess. And mind you, it's just my initial jump into anamorphic, so I'm just kind of giving my initial thoughts on that. that could easily change. This is Henrietta, the white one. And just wanted to go back and sort of revisit some of these shots. I think they came out really, really nice. When the lenses were originally announced, I was in the possession of the Sirui, I think the Venus lenses, or the Saturn, I'm not sure. I can't remember now off the top of my head, but there was native Sony E-mount for full frame, and there were a 1.6 anamorphic lens. And although those were a good middle ground, I felt that it was still a bit too narrow of a shot, or too thin of a frame that I needed to fill. And I did not want to go into the whole cropping in and making that shot bigger and whatnot, like what a lot of people do with the 2-time anamorphic lenses, in order for them to sort of end up like this, essentially. You would really have to crop in on your shot and lose a ton of pixels. This way, with these lenses, you don't have to do that. But at the same time, you can get to keep the that nice anamorphic style that we like to see, that makes shooting on anamorphic just so special when it comes to this kind of image quality. So yeah, I immediately returned, because I had just gotten them. I was just diving into anamorphic and wanted a few lenses, a set of lenses that I could simply just have fun with, and perhaps even shoot, a passion project or two, like I used to do when I first got started in this career. And I think that passion, that love, that sort of desire has sort of come back as I dive deeper into the world of anamorphic, filmmaking. I think it's beautiful, and I want to sort of pursue that some more. It just gives me an urge to want to go back to that. So I picked these up, and they're very unique in the way that sort of they presented them, and I was able to get them this super early bird special of, I think it was like 700 per lens. I think when they're all done and fully released, I think they're gonna go up to like 1,000 per lens or something like that. So I got them on a really good deal at a really good time. So I had to wait for them a little bit, but they were definitely worth it after seeing these shots. Yeah. So what else can I say about this? This is just like, to me, I'm looking at this and I just want to go out and shoot a documentary. Like, I really do. I need a good story. It just makes me want to sort of go out and shoot some more of this. This is just gorgeous. Yeah, I don't know what it is about these lenses that are bringing all this out of me, but and I like the form factor. I really do like the form factor. They're not too small. I don't want them to be too small, like they only should belong on a small mirrorless camera. I'm not a fan of that, because my rig, my FX6 rig, is not the biggest, but it's pretty hefty, I would say. So it should look pretty comparable, like it belongs on a sweet rig. So I think it's a good balance there. But these initial shots were really good because it was a very cloudy day, so I got to see a little bit of both, an overcast shot and a fully sunlit shot, and I got to see how kind of the lenses react to each, and really kind of put the FX6 through its paces. I've never really done that. When I first picked up the camera, I got the camera and I just had to go just get going on it with work and whatnot. So I'm really glad I got to see all of this. Right now I believe the sun is sort of cloudy in this shot, and maybe it's a little more out in this one right here, but they are under shade, so really can't tell. On some of these shots you could easily tell when the sun's out and when the sun's away. But I'm a big fan of these anamorphic lenses, and yeah, there's Henrietta again. Are they worth the price? It's just, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and please let me know in the comments if you'd like to see more stuff like this. I hope to actually record some more B-roll stuff, maybe over in South Beach when I get a chance, and go out there and get some more shots. So this is really, really nice. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on another video.